All is truth. There can only be truth. All else is a distraction. Do not be distracted. All is truth. There can only be truth. All else is a distraction. Do not be distracted. The intensity, frequency, and duration of confusion is increasing. Steady yourself against the infallible Word of God. Matthew 24:15. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Welcome, welcome to the Divine Platform. This is yours truly, the Literati. Welcome to the enduring saints, the children of God, the intelligentsia, the architects of the universe, children of the covenant, the remnants, the intercessors. Welcome to all who must endure this rest to the end. We are the enduring saints. All I do here is for the edification of the Most High and for the restoration of His kingdom. And I can do all this through Christ, which strengthens me. Like it states in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. It is my prayer that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart are acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer, like it says in Psalms 1:14. Deuteronomy 31:6 says, Be strong and of a good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. We must remember this as we run this race. We are coming to the end, and it's going to get tougher maybe. We must remember to be strong and of good courage, not to fear, not to be afraid of the heathens. For God is with us, and He will not fail or forsake us. Meditate on Deuteronomy 31:6. Daniel 12:11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Yes, we are heading into that, the abomination of desolation. I promised this presentation several months ago, maybe even a year ago, and the several other presentations that I promised to do, and as soon as I'm able to, as soon as the Lord allows me to, I will release them and present them to you. Also, I won't waste much time explaining why I've been MIA, but just know that the attacks against truth are real. So today's subject is the abomination of desolation. And as is customary on this channel, we will start by breaking down this word and defining every term. And for this particular subject, I was led to do this because even I myself struggle to really understand this phrase. Of course, I ask God, I pray, and what I present is what He showed me, what He led me to. And so I hope it will bring some clarification to the enduring saints who are watching this right now as we come to the end of time. Okay? Please make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe to educate others. Okay? So, we'll first look at the definitions. In fact, you might as well refer to this as the definition platform, because we always want to make sure that you know what we are talking about, what sense of the word we are talking about, so that there's no confusion. Our God is not a God of confusion, and we try to make sure that we do not create more confusion with these videos. So what's an abomination? First of all, an abomination is either a person or a thing. It could be a person or a thing, but it's something that's regarded with disgust or hatred. Something that's it's a loathing, okay? Today I will talk about an abomination as a person or as the person, and then in a different presentation I will present the abomination as a thing or event. So an abominable thing or person or action is one that is detestable, that is very bad or unpleasant. That's simple for everybody to understand. It's something that's very, very bad or unpleasant. Synonyms: disgusting, ugly, obscene, offensive, evil, awful, hideous, dreadful, obnoxious, unpleasant, appalling, repugnant, horrific, nauseating, monstrous, despicable, horrible, sickening, shocking, nasty, terrible. So I hope all these words, as I speak them, let them resonate in your mind, because this is what the abomination is going to encompass, all these synonyms, because that's how horrible it's going to be. Okay, abomination of. Let's look at of. Of is, in this sense, it's a preposition, and it's something that happens before, previous to. It's yeah, that's simple. Something that happens before. Desolate. What does desolate mean? It means deserted, barren, lifeless, gloomy, dilapidated, forsaken, wretched, deprived of inhabitants. Perdition. Perdition is a synonym or is synonymous with desolation, in a sense. I'm talking about the abomination of desolation here, but I mentioned perdition because in this context it's synonymous. I think there'll be two entities that present, one as the son of perdition and the other one as the abomination of desolation, but one is real, the other one is not. It's just an eidolon. But perdition is hell, it's utter destruction, it's loss. And what are synonyms of perdition? Hell, Tartarus, Inferno, Pandemonium, Underworld, Netherworld, Abyss, Purgatory, Sheol. I need to point something out here. I hear people talk a lot about Tartaria, and they brag about how that is our technology. These are truthers. So they refer to Tartaria as theirs, something good. But here, this is a synonym for perdition, for hell. So we need to be clear when we take ownership of some of these words or technologies or civilizations. Okay? Another word here is Sheol. And this I just pointed out to remind people when Trump talked about African, those are shithole countries. I don't think he said shithole. This is my assessment. I think he said those are Sheol countries. But everyone thought that he said shithole countries. Well, Sheol is synonymous with hell. And when he said those are Sheol countries, he means that that's where the gates of hell are. Okay? So when he said those are Sheol countries, he was saying this, that's where the hell is, or the gates of hell are. This is what I think personally. Okay? Well, let's get back to the topic. Mark 13:14 says, "But when you shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains." So now I gave you the definition of abomination of desolation. This detestable event leads to desolation, or happens before the desolation. So this detestable event or person appears and occurs, and it leads to the barrenness, to the hellish situation, to the wretchedness. Okay? So when we see this creature or this entity or this person standing where he's not supposed to, we need to run for cover. We can run for cover to the mountains, but run for cover in prayer as well. So what I'll show you is, or what I can tell you, is that they are preparing, paving the way for the abomination of desolation to occupy the land and to stay in the place it should not be. And I'll show you that this place is in East Africa, more specifically Kenya. And you have to agree with me when you look at the events that have happened in 2023, just in Kenya. But I'll show you who is preparing the way, how they're doing it, and what this abomination as a person is. What we must all realize is that the world is getting ready to fully establish Satan's kingdom, and for this, before the destruction that follows. They know that their days are numbered, and they're planning on going out with a bang. What they're planning to do is going to be so hideous. It's almost like the ultimate disrespect. This evil person will soon be exposed and revealed. And when I say exposed and revealed, he's here, he's among us. He's walking and living among us as a civilian or as a citizen. I don't like using those terms because those are political terms, but those are the terms we're used to, so I'll just use them. But he's among us. He's already here. He's been here. Okay? And he's just going to be exposed. What is happening right now, they are preparing for the ascension of this entity to the throne, to the one world throne. Okay? And so I'll proceed to show you how they're doing that. But before we go there, let me read Mark 11:18-10, which is what they're going to mock and mimic, preparing the way for this entity. It is going to be a literal show. "And many spread their garments in the way, and others cut down branches off the trees and strawed them in the way. And they that went before and they that followed cried, saying, Hosanna, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David, that cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest." When it actually happens, which I believe is very soon, people will prostrate themselves, and it will be a mockery of Christ's entrance into the temple before he destroyed it. Like, this is what happened as he was entering the temple, People spread their garments, crying, they went before, and those that followed crying, Hosanna, blessed be the kingdom of our father David. So they will mimic this. Okay? This is a sick, deranged mind that is so deranged, it has no ability to create on its own. We know that. So it just mimics and mocks. They pick any scripture that works for them and use it. They create an event around that scripture. They don't care. They're incapable of caring. So who is preparing the way? Before I go into specifics, I have to say that I think all leaders in power right now are serving the kingdom of darkness. This is my true belief. Every leader in the world right now is ready for that infidel to take office of the one world. These leaders are demonic, tyrannical, despotic entities. Generally, they exercise their power absolutely in a brutal and oppressive way. And how are they doing this? To let this entity into the place where it should not be, they have to open up the land. So they are misappropriating lands through deceptive narratives, through internal displacement of people, like I showed you in a previous video, the Bible, the internally displaced people. And I told you, I think Kenya, I don't think I know Kenya, the political corporation known as Kenya. See, they use these corporations to lord over you, to control you, to steal your wealth. These corporations known as countries are not sanctioned of God. They are out of order. Okay? But I'm just going to talk about Kenya as a country. I'm not trying to legitimize it, but we have to accept the fact that it is what it is. So the first statement that has been made is that Kenya is the cradle of humankind. Then you have this, visit Kenya's Jade Sea, the cradle of humanity. So, the person who discovered the oldest human remains in Kenya was Richard Leakey. So you have to realize that Richard Leakey was not there just excavating. He was there on a mission. From day one, Satan had his plans in place. Is Kenya the cradle of humanity? Absolutely. Was Leakey discovering anything? No. He was just setting the picture. He was the agent who was publicizing them so that they can come back at this time and use that story to achieve their nefarious end. Okay? We have always known since Richard Leakey publicized that story that Kenya is a cradle of humanity. You have to ask yourself, why are they publicizing it now and making use of that information in the way that they are? It's because they are preparing for this entity to take center stage. So with a statement like Kenya is the cradle of humanity, saying that Kenya is the birthplace, it's the motherland, it is a home. Literally, cradle means nativity. Oh, by the way, if you wondered where Jesus was born, it was in Kenya. When they say it's the cradle of humankind, then everybody can lay a claim to Kenya. Anybody, any human being will lay a claim to Kenya. Okay? So during the, what summit is this? African Climate Summit 23. And look at this, ACS 23. This is ARC. Like I keep on telling you about the pi, the 23 degrees in my previous videos. You should watch that. So this is coded language. Okay. So this president of Kenya says Kenya is where humanity began. Welcome home. So he basically welcomed everyone to Kenya. So he is opening the door to the ultimate displacement of people from their land, the land ceded to them by God. This is the Nimrod spirit rising, marauding, taking what is not theirs, and clouding the truth and corroborating with the devil to do so. So don't take this lightly. This is preparation for that entity. Okay? You know, when the president himself says that in such a public forum, you know this is messaging. Okay? So one way they're doing that, like I said, it's by making these statements. So that sets the stage. Okay, it is the cradle of humanity. Now, they're eliminating barriers to entry, you know? And at the outset, this is noble, you know? We have brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are ready to come home and who must come home. They have to come back to their land. However, these entities who ride what must happen and either manipulate it, divert it, corrupt it. So the common person does not understand that these people are hijacking the legitimate return of God's children by tagging on other entities who have no business being in the land. Okay? And we have had problems with Africans traveling within Africa. You know, these corporations just set up these fictional borders which broke families apart, especially divine families. You know, like Eastern Uganda and Western Kenya are supposed to be one kingdom, you know? But suddenly they're opening, they're eliminating barriers to entry. Kenya to become visa-free to African visitors. Who is an African? The word or that term, African, is a term that has been hijacked and politicized. It is now in this context with these people being used as a tool and an instrument for advancing the devil's kingdom. Because we know that the refugees, for example, who are brought in from, was it Afghanistan and other countries, were deposited mainly en masse in the East African region. Very soon they'll claim to be African. And then, of course, Chinese are accepted as Africans in South Africa. I hope you can see what's going on, how they're preparing. So Africa needs to have open border policy for brothers and sisters to travel and visit one another. But this is being hijacked, and we are participating in it when we say Africa must unite without qualifying that statement. So we must think before we support certain initiatives, because we are ultimately destroying ourselves. We are participating in their rituals and their mantras without really knowing what they mean. We think they mean something else, which it doesn't mean, you know. And of course, other countries are going to follow suit. You know, Rwanda is a special country, you know. with this entity as well. And this is part of the Pan-Africanism agenda, as I will show at the end of this video. I'm not disparaging unity. I am warning that the devil will and has hijacked the unity. Okay? So that they can get access to that place where they're not supposed to be. Let's see what other countries are doing about, other African countries are doing about offering citizenship to African Americans, which is fine, but if you think the term African is loosely defined, African American is even more loosely defined. Let's see here. So this talks about 8 African countries offering citizenship to African Americans. And they have certain marketing titles they use for those programs. So Ghana calls it the right of abode. Ghana has been at the forefront of this. Sierra Leone, embracing descendants. Great terms, you know. Nigeria, embracing dual nationality. Great. South Africa, a bold move in strengthening ties. Gabon, strengthening ties with the diaspora. Cape Verde, towards inclusive national identity. We don't want a national identity. We don't want that. Zimbabwe, opening its doors. No, please don't. Kenya, offering a new home. To who? To Obama, as I'll show you. You can read more at Passport Heavy. That's the site I got this information from. Okay, the third way they're preparing for this entity is amalgamating countries. Ultimately, they're going to eliminate the borders. So they're going to collapse the artificial borders that they created. And this is in lockstep with their plan. See, first they created the unsanctioned, unordained political units called countries, which are basically tools for forced assimilation, displacement, theft, and other vices, control, like I said. Then what they're going to do next is to start collapsing them by using new tools called regional markets or regional economic markets. All these new societies or leagues are run by brotherhoods, by the way. Again, remember, all nations must be sanctioned of God. Okay? If you have one nation or one tribe lording over another, like the case in Kenya, it is of the devil. One tribe has no business controlling any other tribe and telling them what to do. And you have truthers here who are saying, oh, the rulership just went from this tribe to that tribe. Oh no. People, don't fall for that balderdash. That is BS. But anyways, so they're creating these regional markets. East Africa takes the lead as the most integrated bloc in Africa. So integrated bloc in Africa. That is the East African community. And it has become a 250 billion market as Congo joins. This 25 number, 25 is 2 5s, is very important. If you watched Jacob, the quarterback, this 5 showed up. So you can go back and watch that. DRC is set to become the 7th member of the East African Trading Bloc. What's in it for everyone? 7th is also a very significant number. Okay, how are they doing it in the South? We have the SADC, South African Development, was it Coalition? I don't know, Committee? I can't remember what the C stands for. So they're creating these units, and then within those units, they're going to collapse the borders. And then you have those 5 or 7 regional borders which they are going to further collapse. In the west, we have ECOWAS, which is all these countries here. In Central Africa, I think we have the Economic Community of Central African States. We have the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. We have the Arab Maghreb Union. I guess they're trying to integrate the Arabs into Africa again, yeah? Finally admitting that that peninsula is actually part of Africa. It's crazy because how long have we struggled to trade with one another? Suddenly the barriers are being eliminated. Don't even for a minute believe that they're here for you. Do not let your guards down. Stay alert. Stay prayed up. This amalgamation is slowly creating a one world. A single unified Africa will make it easy for them. Okay, what else are they doing? They are offering free citizenship and land. And I can bet you the beneficiaries of this free land are most likely non-heirs to the land. This narrative of settling strangers in others' lands is what will cause the Battle of Armageddon, which is literally the battle for the land. The land is the trust. The true heirs of the land, don't get me wrong, the true heirs of the land in the diaspora must be restored. Whether they were victims of slavery, refugees, internally displaced people, all those people must be restored to their lands for free because it is theirs. It was ceded to them. But what is going to happen with this offer? They're going to have all these people who have no business being in those lands, being put in those lands. Okay? So that's something we need to watch out for. Of course, this is out there and somebody says it's a rumor. The rest of the article says it's a rumor. But once it makes it to the news, it's not a rumor. Because now once the thought manifests in any form, it's no longer a rumor, it's a fact. Okay. So the abomination, like I said, is going to be a person, a thing, and an event. And I've just showed you how they're preparing the way by creating this narrative where Kenya is the cradle of humankind. Yay, everybody belongs here. You don't need a visa to come home because this is the cradle of humankind. You don't need a visa to come in here. Of course, common sense. Oh yeah. Then they're going to collapse the borders. Oh yeah, you came back home, you can have free land. Yeah? Anyway. So who is the abomination? Or what is the abomination in this video? I'll talk about who. Okay? Let me tell you guys something. I don't like to talk about myself or my experiences, but I have to start doing it. I lived in Kansas for a while, and I cannot even remember how this happened, but before this entity came into power, we're just talking with somebody, and they told me the next, this is what they said. It was, I had to use white, black, but it was a white person who said the next black president is of Satan. And of course I didn't believe it, and I dismissed it. And I don't know, I believe all presidents have been of Satan, at least in the US especially. You know, at least the ones that we know of publicly. Once the pharaohs took over, it was all satanic. And they've just been a slow boil for us getting us used to the idea, you know, how they just go slow. But anyway, so, and then I think I told you guys in a previous video that I lived in Kansas, and there was a big sign that always said, from Kenya to Kansas. What are the chances that I was there and was able to see it? It's been taken down since then, but so in a way I'm trying to tell you that God prepares his children for what is to come. We are never caught unawares. Daniel 8:11 to 13 says, yes, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation? So here, an abomination is a transgression, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. What is to transgress? It's to violate a command or law, that is to sin. It's to go beyond a boundary or limit. That's as an intransitive verb. As a transitive verb, it is to go beyond limits set or prescribed by. It's to violate. It's to pass beyond or go over a limit or boundary. All these definitions are applicable. This entity will literally cross a boundary they're not supposed to. They will violate the admonition, and they will cross that boundary, literal, on the land. The land is the trust. They will cross that boundary. And when we see that abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it ought not, let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. Again, when you shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where it. So that tells you that it doesn't have a personage. It means that we are looking at a creature. I think it's a reptile with wings. It will appear as such. It's a dragon. So this image was from a movie, and I don't know what movie. I just know that in that movie, this is the picture of Satan. And we know that movies are steeped in truth. And just little segue here. When we watch these movies and there's something that is against the law of God, we must instantly and immediately rebuke it. Otherwise, we are endorsing it. Your silence, your attention is your endorsement to begin with. When you decide to watch something, you're endorsing it. And if it's not what you think it is, you must rebuke it. Okay? So when you watch such movies or anything, listen to certain music and it's not what you think it is, you must rebuke instantly and vehemently. Anyways, so what I'll show in the next screen is how they're preparing for this, how they're further preparing for this abomination and how long they've been preparing for it. Just know that a confluence of events have to occur before the abomination as a person transgresses. This is funny because this is the guy who apparently played this. Satan invites Obama for couscous in Morocco. clones, 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 doppelgangers, eidolons, all abominations, all. Okay, so this is supposedly Obama's father, and his first wife's name, I just have here to show you how they've been preparing us. And since we don't know what's going on, we buy into the sob story they give us. They tap into our emotions, we support what they're saying, and that's how we push it forward. We create the reality in that sense. There's a story, you support it, you don't rebuke it, you're creating that reality. His first wife was Kezia, but Z is N. If you translate it, or what, if you translate it to the left, how many degrees is that? 90 degrees? You get Kenya. Sometimes Kenya is spelled with an I or a Y. So already this excerpt from Wikipedia is telling a lot of things. 54, significant. June 18th, significant. British Kenya, significant. He died November 24th, which is today when I'm doing this, significant. And his first wife stayed in Kenya with the 2 boys. I think one of them died. So this is all a plan. And I don't know, let me not speculate here. But again, this is just to show that they start creating this story a long time ago. They have to create a story that's believable, to make you buy into it, to feel about something about it, you know? That is how it comes true. Because if we don't consent, I guarantee you it would not happen. Okay, this is in the news. Obama is moving to Kenya. Is this a joke? Is it a rumor? Is he on his way back? He's been to Kenya twice already. Is the 3rd time the charm? Is he literally preparing the people for the transgression he's about to commit? What do you guys think? A picture say 1,000 words. How many horns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Horns here. Horns, horns everywhere. This is the same picture, close up. Not a coincidence. So I'm trying to show you who the abomination is. Okay, let's dig further into how they've been preparing the world for this abomination. So his date of birth is August 4th. He's president number 44. So by reduction, this can be written as 84, which captures when he was born, and 44, him being the 44th president. He was the 144. He was the first person to, or the first president to have the number 44. So he was the 43rd person, but he was the 44th president. So he's the 144, which is a mockery and a play on the biblical scripture that talks about the 144, as mentioned in Revelation. The other 44, of course, is Trump, but it's 244. But he can also be seen as 144 as well, because he's the 44th person, but the 45th president. So that number 44 occurs only once when talking about him. But those two are the ones who ride us out. Let's see how they play on this number even more. So he's at a game with the number 44 on his left arm. Mockery and mimicry. He's still that 44th president. This is in 2019. Okay. Now this is interesting. This is specifically about Kenya. We had the 844 curriculum in Kenya, which was introduced in 85. So that's right after 84. 85 was introduced. 844 was introduced. in 85, right after 84, to replace this system. So these dates, 7/4/23, are also significant, but I won't go into all that. What I'm just trying to show is that this preparation has been going on for a long time. But now in 2023, okay, 7/4/23, 2023, this 844 is being phased out. It will be the last time learners will be spending 8 years in primary school and then write the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education examinations, a key plank of the 844 system. I mean, I could spend a whole day just breaking all this down, but I won't today, maybe later, sometime. So we as Kenyans, again, Kenyans in quotation mark, ignorantly participated in this ritual that prepares the way for this abomination. This system was introduced by President Moi, the Freemason president, and it is being dismantled by President Ruto, who was a protege of President Moi. So for those truthers out there who are claiming to know who is in power and what they're doing, tell us what's happening. Those are the only two presidents who are not of the other tribe. And I even think that other tribe has been hijacked by thugs who are claiming to be of that tribe. Because the true people of that tribe are perfect. They're great people. But the thugs in power who have hijacked that tribe are running it. Have everybody, let me not even go there, but just remember, this 844 was introduced by Moi and it's being ended by Ruto. Again, this is a ritual that has been perpetrated upon the masses to bring about the agenda. It was a very controversial education system. It was set up for the abomination by these Masonic presidents. I have to tell you that since the Wanga kingdom fell, Kenya has never had a legitimate ruler. It's all been a big Freemason demonic establishment. Kenya itself is a fictitious entity. You cannot force people to come together, people who have such different cultures. Anyways, that's for another day. Obama in Africa. I'm proud to be the first Kenyan American president. He was declaring that he is a Kenyan president. Sometimes I wonder, when he was in Kenya, did he get to that place where he should not be? Did he scope it out, like, that's where I'll go, that's what I'll do there? I will work on the timelines and I'll share what I find with the enduring saints here on this channel. Let's see what he said when he was in Kenya.
Obama's teaming up with the NBA and the International Basketball Federation to launch the new Basketball Africa League. The NBA announced the new league Saturday and released a promotional video featuring the former president, who offered some advice to young athletes in Africa.
I hope you know through sport that if you put in effort, you will be rewarded.
Work hard to put a lot of. In the video, Mr. Obama also stressed the importance of teamwork and determination. The Basketball Africa League will be comprised of 12 teams across the continent. Games are set to begin next January.
So not Basketball Africa League, BAL, BAL. Okay, it is comprised of 12 teams across Africa. Only 12? Africa has 1 billion youth. That 12 is a mockery on the 12 tribes of Israel. Another video here.
Here's what I can guarantee. I'll be back. The next time I'm back, I may not be wearing a suit.
Won't be wearing a suit. He's among us.
My fellow Americans, It has been the honor of my life to serve you. I won't stop. In fact, I will be right there with you as a citizen for all my remaining days. I have two words for you: predator drones. I'll be back. You will never see it coming. That I would bring about the biblical end of days. Now that's a legacy. That's big. I mean, Lincoln, Washington, they didn't do that. You will never see it coming. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
What must it feel like? Any of it.
So I want you to notice when he says that he'll be back, he's standing between two flags, the American flag and the Kenyan flag, okay? And then also in this video, he says he'll bring about the biblical end of days. It has two meanings in this context. End of days, simply as stated in the Bible, simply the end of time. Okay, time is coming to an end. I have told you guys that 1,000,001 times. Time is illusion. Time creates the error. That is coming to an end. So he could be referring to that. But I think he's also referring to the fact that, which is the second meaning, is that it's the end of biblical times. It's the end of biblical righteous living, doing away with the biblical principles and commandments of God. That's why they're trying to push this one world religion. So in this sense, it is not necessarily the end of time. It's doing away with righteous living, but this precedes the end of time. It's part of the confluence of events that must occur. Okay? When he says he'll be back, you must I'm sure you must think of Schwarzenegger when he says, I'll be back. All a ritual for the abomination, because Schwarzenegger said it and then everybody kept on saying, I'll be back, I'll be back, I'll be back. Looks like he's going to swallow his tongue. It was a ritual. And the more we say this thing without knowing what we're talking about, we're creating the energy, the impetus that propels him forward. Okay? So still, this is in preparation for that one world government. Here we have South Africa opposition politician Julius Malema in Kenya to launch their Pan-African Institute. This is another character we need to be skeptical about. He lands in Kenya right after the supposed king leaves, and he is here to launch the Pan-African Institute. See, everything is just lockstep now. They're just going by the playbook. There is no time, you know? They can't even waste time. They have to get it all set up by the end of December. I'm telling you. So he was president right away. He got into Kenya. The power lies in Kenya. And then this guy follows right away, saying he's vowing to Malema vows to undo what King Charles did during his visit to Kenya. I don't want to break this down now, but this is Hegelian dialectic. He doesn't say what you think he's saying. Is he the third wheel? Like I said before in the 3 Magi video, I know 2 people are pretty much set to be on the final stage. I don't know the third person. Is he this one? Is he playing the role of John the Baptist, or is Ruto playing that role? You know? I don't know. Is he going to be the interim African leader for the whole of Africa? I just don't know. Who is he? I mean, this is kind of a segue. You know, I just can't get away from that, right? Who is this guy? Who is this man? Do not be distracted. Look at her. A lot of people are excited about him. But are we paying attention to the patterns? Are we? This is him. Pictures say 1,000 words. What does this image remind you of? Jeremiah 5:21 says, "Hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not." Pay attention. What do you call this salute? Whom have you seen salute this way and this way? Romans 11:8. According as it is written, God hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see and ears that they should not hear, unto this day. People pray, pray, pray that God opens your inner eye, opens your vision and your discernment so that you're not deceived. The vibes I get from this guy, I get this guy's vibes from this guy. He reminds me of this man. Ezekiel 12:2 says, "Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house, which have eyes to see and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not, for they are a rebellious house." Is he a distraction or part of the plan? And if he's part of the plan, is it the divine plan or evil plan? We can assume that he's part of the plan because he can't be moving like this if he's not part of the plan. There's some entity that's protecting him because he clashed with this Kenyan politician. And then as soon as he gets to Kenya, he blasts the current president of Kenya. So he has clashed with the two major politicians in Kenya. Is he telling us who is in power now? Is he the third wheel? What is his rank in the Freemasonic order that he can just talk to people like they're nothing? Anyway, so like I said, there's a confluence of events that must occur, and this Kenya volunteering forces to Haiti is one of them. This is basically the Luya and Haiti saga, which I'll talk about later. The Luya are a tribe in Western Kenya and Eastern Uganda. Lu is the IA, the Ya. When you say Ya, you're talking about the Luya, basically. They get their name from that. And I will do a video on this the soonest. But this is part of the confluence of events that have to occur before the evil one transgresses the laws of God. Okay? Remember what I said? There's more than one. So there's going to be a person, an event, and a thing. In this video, I talked about the person. I showed how they're preparing, how they've been preparing for a long time, who's preparing, where it's going to be. Okay? I hope I've brought some clarity to a lot of us, and I'm glad that God gave me the chance to present this video. I've been sitting on it for a while, and it's been kind of disturbing me that I haven't been able to put it out there because I can see what's happening, and I need to be up and up and let people know what God has revealed to me. Okay? Do not be scared, be righteous. That's my new mantra. Don't be afraid, just be righteous. Stay prayed up. Psalm 55:22 says, "Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved." God will never leave you alone. Guarantee. Never. Revelation 14:12. Here is the patience of the saints. We are the enduring saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God. We, enduring saints, keep the commandments of God, and we keep the faith of Jesus. This divine platform is for the enduring saints who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Thank you very much for watching. Questions, comments, suggestions are always welcome. Remember, all is truth. There can only be truth. All else is a distraction. Anything else is a distraction. Do not be distracted. Thank you.